What's up, guys? Welcome to Wide World Friends English, and today is our first conversation video on parenting. So we're going to talk about English phrasal verbs that you will use to describe parenting.
And specifically, raising kids. Like we've said multiple times on this channel, we have 2 kids of our own. As parents, we know that raising kids is not easy. There are so many things that have to be done. There are so many times that try your patience, that test your patience, and it is exhausting. So we're going to talk about raising kids using phrasal verbs that we talked about in our last video. So let's get to it.
So generally speaking, when you have really little kids, they really like to wake up early, right? So What does like a morning routine look like with little kids?
I mean, obviously it depends on the age, but after the craziness that is newborn stage, which is just its whole thing. After that, I feel like it's basically they wake up around 6:30 or 7 and they're just like, they're ready to go. And I have no idea why. Like, they wake up and they're like, I'm ready to play, I'm ready to eat, I'm ready to get this done. All I'm thinking during that time is like, there are so many chores that have to get done right now.
So you're thinking of like a checklist and they're thinking of like, I've been wasting this time sleeping, so it's time to keep going.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, why do you get up so early if the first thought is you're going to be, what can I play with? Like, for me, I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm just not a kid anymore. But for me, I'm like, when I wake up, there is a span of time where I'm like, I don't really want to play. I want to get some stuff done because I'm still waking up. I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I'm still kind of in a fog. I want to wake up a little bit, so I don't immediately want to go and start doing something fun.
Were you like that as a kid?
No, I don't know.
For me as a teenager, like, I was never one who could just wake up and play video games or wake up and go play.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, yes, but as a teenager, I wanted to get up and get things done first.
Yeah.
So that I had all day to play while my brothers were doing their work.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I mean, is that even as a person who played a lot of video games growing up, I still wouldn't get up and then play video games. I'd get up, go do something, eat, talk to somebody, maybe do a little bit of homework if it's on the weekend, and then after a while, maybe 10, 11 o'clock, then I would play something.
Okay. Well, I feel like kids, like, their job is to play and to grow and to learn. Like, before they go to school, that's like their job.
Yeah.
And ideally, school provides structure for them to still do that same thing. It's funny because the kids are just up and ready to play, but that's how they learn and engage with the world and all this stuff. That's how their world gets bigger at first, is by playing. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to.
That makes sense. You're right. By playing, they are growing. By playing, they are doing their job. So in their mind, they're probably thinking, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to wake up and then do my job.
Right. It's really fun because sometimes they'll want to imitate us, and so they'll pull out like this little like electronic like computer ABC toy or something, and they'll sit down beside us and just, I'm working, I'm going to work. Or they'll say, I'm too busy now. And they'll be like working on something. They'll like playing or coloring or something. It's really funny. Honestly though, playing and stuff is a huge part of their development, but so is learning how to do chores and pick up after themselves and stuff. So like, how do you even begin to introduce that to like a toddler? I
don't know. Like we've tried our best to say like, if you bring something out, then you put something back, because I think that makes a lot of sense, just because it's like my hands put it over here, so my hand should put it back. But it's really hard to teach kids to pick up after themselves.
Yeah. Part of it is a game. Like our daughter, she's the younger one. She really loves like picking up and putting away and going to her toy kitchen and like cooking with us. But she loves to help in the kitchen too, like if whisking eggs or whatever. She loves doing anything that seems kind of like what mom and dad do right now. Which is funny because our son, he was like that too, but he wants to put his own twist. He wants to like put his race cars in it somehow. Like if we're making bread dough, he wants his cars to be going through it. He's going to do it his own way, which is fine, but the element is like, we want to build these principles of responsibility and taking responsibility for your own actions, your own messes, owning up to what you've been doing.
That's why we try to do it at the end of the day. So, and I think maybe that's created a kind of mentality in their mind, because at the end of every day, we tell our kids, okay, it's time to pick up. It's time to pick up the house, pick up after yourselves. If you made the mess, you pick it up. If you took the stuffed animals out, you put the stuffed animals back. Thus, having a clean house, a ready house for the next day. So I think when they think, oh, it's time to bed down or it's time to go to bed, then the next morning they think it is ready for me to do my job.
That's the idea. For me personally, mindset-wise, like if I have the house in a total wreck and then go to sleep because I'm just being lazy and putting it off till the next day, it's really difficult for me to get up and be ready for the day because I have to clean up yesterday before I can do today. So that's one of those things that we're trying to instill that in our kids too, because that's just a healthy way to go about things in general, rather than putting things off. It's hard to get there. With one of them, it's a little more difficult. The other one, she's totally fine with it. She's like, yeah, this makes sense, but she likes the routine. And as long as we don't vary from that routine, she's good. Now, our son also enjoys the routine, but he wants to question it and fight it and do it his own way and do it in his own time. We've let him have his way before. And we told him, it's like, we're going to let you see what it's like when everything is a wreck and all the toys are out. And what he did is he kept falling and tripping on stuff, which was a great lesson for him to learn. Like, we were there, we were making sure he was okay, of course, but we were just trying to show him, like, see, if you leave out all your cars and the dominoes and all these toys, like, and you've wrecked the house, basically, like, this is what happens. The consequences of your actions is you can't really play like you want to because you keep stepping on things, tripping on things, breaking things. And we threw away, like, several things that broke that day because he kept falling on them, or he would get angry and, like, smash them or something. It's just like, that's the consequence. That's a consequence for not picking up. And that stuck with him a little bit. And he's doing much better with it now. But it's just one of those things. It's like, it took us going, I think we did it twice, 2 days like that. And that was really stressful on our side. But it was an important lesson for him to learn. Hopefully our daughter learned that lesson at the same time. I doubt it. She was too young. But we'll just do it again with her one day, I'm sure.
I think the whole idea of raising kids is just trying to get them to see that the thing we want them to do is actually better for them. But it's really hard. It's literally like, no, I see this, but you're telling me that you see this. It doesn't make any sense. And so just trying to encourage them, whether that's doing natural consequences or just encouraging them in general, saying, yeah, go ahead. You really need to do this because if we do this, we have more time to do more fun things. It's a hard lesson because it's literally okay, I'm going to delay my gratification, delay my happiness now for more happiness later. That's like one of the most difficult skills for kids to develop.
Yeah, it's hard for any human being because we innately don't want to trust those around us, even those who we know care and love for us. So it's like we have to prove ourselves as parents every day, like, we love you. Do you trust me? Like, you should trust me. I have your best interest at heart. As they get older, obviously, we'll be loosening those boundaries. There will always be boundaries from us while they live under our roof because there needs to be. Kids need those boundaries. That's one of those things that's a big part of raising kids, and we use a lot of phrasal verbs to describe. For them to know and trust us so much, they have to feel very secure and safe in belonging to this family. And that nothing that they do, however bad, like, they can't do anything to break away from this family. They belong to it. Yeah,
I mean, that's what the boundaries are really for. It's not necessarily to constrain the children, which that's what the children think of, is like, you're constraining me. But actually, in reality, those boundaries are showing the child, like, you belong. You belong to this family, not like...
And this is what this family does.
Right. Like, so even if you step out of the boundaries, it's not like we say, okay, well, you stepped out of the family, so you're not in the family anymore. It's just, this is what we do. This is the socially acceptable thing that we do. And so when we are trying to get you to do this, this is the expectation.
Right.
And kids actually do a lot better with that. I've heard research say that even something simple like a playground, kids are actually happier, even though it sounds ridiculous, kids are happier with a playground that has a fence around it than with a playground that doesn't have a fence around it. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. Like, with no fence, you can do anything you want. You can come from any direction.
Right.
But with offense, there is a boundary. They're saying you can't go past this point.
It's like you don't have too many choices, I guess. And so you can comfortably make a choice with what you have.
Yeah. Maybe it simplifies it for them.
Maybe it simplifies it. They can't choose from 1,000 things super easily on their own. I mean, when they're a baby, they don't really know that they're choosing. But by the time that they're a toddler, it's really easy to overwhelm them. Or they want to make the right decision or the decision that pleases mom and dad, and giving them more and more decisions to make or more choices to choose from. They seem to understand already it's a smaller chance that I'm going to make a best decision.
And I think that's why you really need to celebrate small wins with them, because that's why you need to encourage your children to say, go for it. Even if it's something really small, like using the toilet, and you feel like it's so silly to be like clapping and yaying and giving a reward for a person, for the kid, because they use the toilet. It's like, I mean, I certainly don't get that kind of recognition when I use the toilet, but
that would be weird.
That would be weird. Obviously it would be weird. But the point is that, like, you want to celebrate those small things so that they know it's a good thing. It's reinforced positive learning to say, hey, that's a great thing. We like that. We celebrate that. As a teacher that I heard one time said, what gets celebrated gets done. We need to try to celebrate those things so that our kids know that those are the kind of things that we want to see in the future.
There's a lot of different ways to raise your kids, obviously. And these are just a few ways that fit in with the phrasal verbs that we use all the time to describe what we're doing. Kids are just a huge blessing, and they're a lot of fun. They are a lot, but they're really, really fun. Like, if you ever have the opportunity and your kids are just spending that with someone else, or they're just gone for like 3 or 4 nights, it's so quiet.
Yeah.
It's so quiet, and you're just like, what am I doing anymore with my life? It's like, I've been so productive and I have this much time. Once they're there all the time, you forget what it's like when it's quiet, and that's all you want some days is for it to be quiet.
Yeah.
But then when you do have that quiet for a while, it's like, this is pretty boring. So these are some of the phrasal verbs that we just don't go without, honestly.
Yeah.
We use these all the time, from bundling up the kids to encouraging them to go along.
All right, so next week, we're going to actually talk more about the teaching and disciplining of children. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can see more of these phrasal verbs of parenting in other contexts.
If you like these kind of videos, we do all kinds of things on spoken grammar, difficult points in grammar, and how to learn English here on this channel. And we're geared specifically to high, intermediate, or low advanced speakers. So if you are a beginner English speaker, these are going to be really difficult to grasp. But if you are in the high, intermediate, or low advanced, then these videos are for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.